Hey, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in today's video, we're gonna be talking about 6 of the biggest reasons why you might be hitting too many ground balls. We're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna fix that for you so that you can get back to crushing line drives, frozen ropes, into the gaps, and over the fence. That way you can get more hits, you can have more fun, you can increase your average, and just become a more productive hitter at the plate and help your team win more ball games. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first reason why you might be hitting too many ground balls is because you're trying to swing down. And I want you to think about this. Swinging down is a recipe for hitting the ball on the ground. All right, swinging down is a recipe for hitting the ball on the ground. You don't want to do it. And unfortunately, most hitters, from the moment that they pick up a baseball bat for the first time, they're taught that the proper way to swing is, straight down to it like this. And unfortunately, if you watch the best hitters in the world, that's just simply not what happens in the high-level baseball swing. They might be thinking that that's what they're doing, but they're really not. And Ted Williams, greatest hitter of all time, he probably knows his stuff, right? He said it best. He said that, the best swing is a swing that's slightly up. And why is that? Well, it's because it's matching the plane of the pitch. So I don't want you to misconstrue. I do not want you to swing down like this, because I don't think that that's what the best hitters on the planet actually do, is swing down. But it's also not a huge uppercut swing. It's not like, you drop your back shoulder and swing straight up either. It's simply matching the plane of the pitch. Obviously the pitch is, thrown down into the strike zone, so the pitch is coming down. We don't want to swing down and have, one point of intersection, one possible point for us to make contact with the ball, because our timing has to be perfect in that situation, right? We don't want that. We want to ideally be able to make contact and hit the ball hard if we're a little early, a little late, and the way that we do that is by matching the plane of the pitch. So the pitch is coming slightly down, our swing is going to be slightly up. So we're going to match the plane of the pitch, we're going to get our bat on plane with the pitch early, and we're going to actually keep our bat on plane with the pitch for as long as possible, even after making contact with the ball. So if you're hitting the ball on the ground, it might be because you're swinging down. That's step one. We want to avoid that. A second reason why you might be hitting too many ground balls is simply because you're hitting the top half of the baseball. So many times when it comes to hitting, we try to make it as complicated as possible. We think, man, I'm hitting ground balls. What am I doing? Is it something with my hands or my load or my stride, or I got to fix this and fix that? The reality is it might be that you're just hitting the top of the baseball. And that could be, maybe you're not trying to do that, but for whatever reason, something in your swing is causing you to do that. And it's important to diagnose what that is if that's the issue. But it could also be that you've just been taught, just like, swinging down on the ball, you might be taught to, well, you want to get on top. You want to hit the top half of the baseball, which again is not true. In order to maximize our backspin, and we don't want top spin that comes from hitting the top of the ball. We want backspin that comes from not hitting the bottom of the ball, but hitting the ball slightly below the equator, okay? That's what produces good line drives and home runs. You're not gonna get there by hitting the top half of the ball. So don't swing down, and also you don't wanna hit the top of the ball, hit the ball slightly below that equator. Okay, a third reason why you might be hitting too many ground balls is because you're trying to get your arms extended at the point of contact. So you hear this all the time about, oh, extension's so important. And so a lot of hitters truly believe that at the point of contact, you want to get your arms extended like this. And if you watch the best hitters, if they've got good timing on that pitch, they're not extended at the point of contact. They're connected at the point of contact. And it's not until much after contact that they actually get extension and get those arms extended. So how could this produce ground balls? Well, ideally at the point of contact, we want our hands, if I open up my hands here, we want them to be palm up, palm down. My top hand here is facing the sky. My bottom hand is facing the ground. This is palm up, palm down. And if I get palm up, palm down here, my bat's on plane with the pitch already back here, and I want to keep that palm up, palm down position for as long as possible. Well, if I get my arms extended at the point of contact, it's very hard for me to keep this palm up, palm down position. The more I extend, the more my wrists want to roll, and eventually my hands are going to turn. They're no longer palm up, palm down. I'm coming around the ball, and I'm hitting the top half of the ball here, which results in, the top spin and hitting ground balls. So remember, we don't get our arms extended at the point of contact. Extension happens after. Let's talk about a fourth reason, and this is really a result, but if you notice that your bat is finishing low instead of high, then that could be causing too many ground balls. So your bat finishing low instead of high. And what I mean by that is, You know, if this is an issue for you, most likely you've got the mentality of I'm trying to swing down, I'm trying to get on top, but I'm gonna over exaggerate it here. If I swing on a downward plane like this, well, my bat is gonna be steep through the zone. So, you know, it's gonna be in and out of the zone really, really quickly because it's too steep. We don't want that, but let's just say that I do that. So my bat is way too steep. And if my bat's traveling on a downward plane like this, it's gonna finish down here like this. It's gonna finish like mid back or sometimes even lower. And if you watch the best hitters in the world, obviously their swings, they do not finish it down here like this. That just looks kind of silly, right? The best hitters, they finish their swing high up here like this. So they make contact here, boom, they get extension, and they finish their swing high up here. If you finish your swing high, you know that you're getting your bat on plane early and keeping your bat on plane for a long period of time. So just something to pay attention to. If you find yourself finishing your swing low or mid back, try to figure out what's causing that. Obviously that's not a good thing. That's producing a lot of ground balls. Is it because my mentality is swing down? Is it because I'm trying to get on top? Is it something else, right? But you want to make sure to finish your swing high. Let's move on to reason number 5 why you might be hitting too many ground balls. You might be getting too flippy with your hands. All right, so what I mean by that is when you get to the point of contact, right? A problem with a lot of hitters is they get to contact here, and immediately after they hit the baseball, they have premature wrist roll here, okay? And this rolling of my wrist immediately after contact, what does that do? Again, we talk a lot about bat path and being on plane. Well, I'm on plane, obviously, at the point of contact here, but as soon as I have this premature wrist roll, my bat goes from on plane here to off plane, and it happens right as I'm hitting the ball. So if my timing is not perfect, if I'm a little bit early, well, guess what? If I hit the ball out here like this and up, my wrists have already rolled, I'm gonna again hit the top of the baseball. You see that little difference there of just being off plane too quickly? So you don't wanna have that premature wrist roll, and you don't wanna get flippy with it. So good timing is really, really gonna help you with that. But also just thinking about, you know, your wrists are eventually going to roll, but it can't happen at contact. At contact, you've gotta drive through the baseball and continue to gain ground with your hands moving towards the pitcher, right? So think about with your top hand here, gaining ground towards the pitcher, keep your bat on plane for as long as possible, and then way out here, then obviously your wrists are bound to roll. You can't keep them flat, palm up, palm down forever, but you can't have that wrist roll right after contact or immediately after contact. We gotta delay that for as long as possible. And then lastly, number 6, an outside in swing. When you allow your baseball bat, your knob and your bat to get away from you in your swing, that's never a good sign. And what I mean specifically is if you allow your bat to get away from you early, so you start with, you know, your knob out here like this and everything's away from you, what that forces you to do is it forces you to, you know, come around the baseball in order to make contact with it. You're out here, so you obviously have to cut across the baseball and come around it. And when you do that, you're bound to roll your wrists, and you're bound to, you know, have this outside in bat path that forces you to hit the top half of the baseball. And as we discussed, if you hit the top of the ball, it's that top spin combined with that around the ball bat path. That's gonna be a lot of rollover ground balls to the shortstop if you're a right-handed hitter. So we cannot have that outside in baseball swing. We have to think about staying connected and have an inside out swing. And I do not mean by inside out swing, I do not mean you have to hit everything to the opposite field, okay? So that's an important distinction. If it's an inside pitch, I want you to pull the ball. If it's a middle pitch, hit it up the middle. If it's away, those are the ones you drive with authority to the opposite field, okay? So when I say inside out, I'm not saying, you know, to keep your hands hyper inside, even on an inside pitch, and dink it the other way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you, you've got to stay connected. You can't allow things to get out here and have that around the ball bat path. It's got to be connected, everything in tight to my body, on plane early, stay on plane for a long period of time, and that'll help you not hit so many ground balls and get back to crushing line drives. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope it was helpful for you. If it was, please hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Go ahead and smash it right now, and subscribe to the channel. That way you never miss any of our upcoming videos. And last thing, hitters, I put together a free resource for you that's gonna help you take your hitting to the next level. It's called the Contact Point Checklist, and it's 100% free. You can click on the link down below in the description and go download that right right now, but what I've done is I've freeze framed the swing at the point of contact, and I've highlighted a few key areas that you need to focus on. You need to make sure you're doing these things at the point of contact, otherwise you're leaving bat speed and you're leaving power on the table. So go download that right now. I know it's gonna help you. It's 100% free. Just click on the link down below. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.